So today, I want to do a video about Bible study. And that's because I think that Bible study is a lot harder than doing Bible talk. But also, Bible study is a lot more fun, than doing a Bible talk. And I want to show this today. So today I want to look at this passage is where Jesus heals a lot of people. And I want to ask three types of questions. The first question is the obvious question. And these are the kind of questions that are very obvious or very simple questions. So as we read this, we'll just ask the question like Jesus left the synagogue, went to the house of Simon, and Simon's mother-in-law was sick. So obvious question might be like, what is synagogue? How come Simon mother-in-law one? How come focus on her one? Is it special treatment? Is it that kind of question And these are easy to answer questions because these are questions that everyone is thinking about. So you want to get people interested So you just get people noticing things in the passage. Like how come Jesus bends over and then scold the fever? Is this how we are supposed to scold away people's illnesses today? When people say, hey, pray for me, I'm going to scold them. And again, it's just getting people to get the context and to understand what's going on in the passage. You do this by asking obvious questions, simple questions. And then next, ask them the weird questions, especially if you're looking at a weird passage. So like here, right, people bring all kinds of people with all kinds of sicknesses, and Jesus put his hands on them and then he heals them. But then got demon. Say, how come? I thought illness, and then got demon. If illness, go hospital. But demon, then go church. And then you say, hey, you've got demon, what will you do? So the more weird the question is, actually it's more fun. Actually, more people will remember if you ask weird question. And this is where all the uncle story come out. Don't be scared. It's actually okay to have all these weird questions come out. It's kind of like, I think it's better to get it out rather than let people think about it the whole night and then they don't share it and then they don't listen to you also. So it's good to get it out. And so like for example, Jesus rebuked the demons and said, hey, don't tell people that he's the Messiah. And then how come? Why is he doing that? And then let them ask these questions or ask them these weird questions, but resist the temptation of giving too many answers. You want them to get curious, you want them to have fun, and you want them to think about the answer. And then when you get to the last part, I like to ask, what does it mean questions? And here it's very tempting to give the answers, but really you want them to think, what does it mean? How do they find the answers from the Bible? So for example, here, after all the healing stuff, Jesus runs away. He runs away to this lonely place and people are looking for him. They're trying to get him to stay, but he runs away and says, I need to proclaim the good news. I need to preach in other towns also. And then he go and preach in all these other synagogues. So begin with synagogue, end with synagogue. How come Jesus go run away from all these important needs? And here, you want to make people go, what's going on? So here you can ask the hard questions. Here you can ask the, what do you think all this means question, but resist from giving the most correct answer. Because people are thinking, thinking is a response. And don't be scared of silence because silence is also a response. People are thinking of the answer. And then finally, it is your job to try to explain the passage. But when you do it, try to keep your answer short because this is not a sermon again. This is you trying to help people to see the answers for themselves in the Bible. So try to guide them, try to point them towards, questions like, why does Jesus do this? What does Jesus mean by this? And what does it mean for us today? So those are the questions, help people to look for the answers themselves and maybe even share those answers that they find with one another. And I guarantee you, if you do this, again and again, actually your job becomes easier. You're just thinking of questions that are obvious. Your job becomes more fun because you're getting all the uncle story to come out and you're laughing together with them. But also your job becomes more meaningful. You're helping people to grow and to discover things that are in the Bible themselves, and maybe you also discover those answers for yourself. So for what it's worth, this is how I would do Bible study, asking questions and trying to enjoy doing the Bible study alongside my friends as well. So yeah,